Dear children, we have learned that the human beings obtain energy from the digested food, that is, glucose, by the process of respiration. And this process takes place in every body cells. In human beings, many organs take part in the process of respiration. We call them organs of respiratory system. Let us study human respiratory system in detail. Okay? The main organs of human respiratory system are nose, nasal passages, trachea, bronchi, lungs and diaphragm. Our nose has two holes which are called nostrils, and there is a passage in the nose behind the nostrils and it is called nasal passage. The nasal passage joins the nostrils to the trachea. Trachea is a tube. It is also called as windpipe. The upper end of trachea has a voice box called larynx. The trachea or windpipe branches into smaller tubes called bronchi. The two bronchi are connected to the two lungs, one to the left lung and the other to the right lung. Each bronchus divides in the lungs to form a large number of smaller tubes called bronchioles. The bronchioles have tiny air sacs at their ends. The pouch-like air sacs at the end of the smallest bronchioles are called alveoli. The walls of alveoli are very thin and they are surrounded by very thin blood capillaries. The exchange of gases between the air and the blood takes place across the walls of the alveoli. The lungs are two spongy elastic bags placed one on each side of the chest under the rib cage. The lungs are covered with a membrane called pleura. The pleura secretes a lubricating fluid which prevents the lungs from the effect of friction due to expansion and contraction of lungs during breathing. The lungs are cut off from the abdomen by a thick muscular dome-shaped wall called a diaphragm. Diaphragm is a curved sheet of muscle below the lungs. The muscles of the rib cage and diaphragm help in breathing in and breathing out. When we breathe in, our chest cavity expands, and this expansion movement of the chest cavity helps in sucking in air which contain more oxygen. When we breathe out, the chest cavity contracts. This contraction movement of the chest cavity helps in squeezing out carbon dioxide from the walls of the lungs and expel it from the body. Let us study the working of our respiratory system. We normally breathe in air through the nose. The air under the nostrils passes through the nasal cavity, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and finally reaches the lungs. Within the lungs, air passes through a large number of small tubes called bronchioles and then reaches the tiny air sacs called alveoli. The alveoli are surrounded by very thin blood vessels called capillaries which carry blood in them. From the inhaled air, oxygen diffuses into the blood in the capillaries which surrounds the alveoli. The blood carries oxygen to all parts of the body. This oxygen is carried by a red pigment, that is hemoglobin, present in red blood cells or RBC. As blood passes through the tissues of the body, the oxygen present in it diffuses into the cells. This oxygen is utilized for the oxidation of glucose, which results in release of energy. The materials like fatty acids and glycerol are also oxidized during respiration to produce energy. Carbon dioxide and water are produced by the oxidation of food during respiration. The waste products of respiration, that are carbon dioxide, water, enters into blood. Blood carries the carbon dioxide and water to the alveoli in the lungs. From the lungs, carbon dioxide and water vapor are removed with the air we breathe out. In this way, the process of gases exchange is completed in the human respiratory system. Breathe for better life. Regular traditional breathing exercises can increase the capacity of lungs to take in more air. Thus, more oxygen can be supplied to the body cells, resulting in release of more energy. The sudden expulsion of air from the nose due to the irritation of nasal cavity is called sneezing. We often sneeze when we inhale air containing dust, smoke or pollen, etc. Sneezing expels all the unwanted particles from the inhaled air so that a dust-free, clean air enters into our lungs. Please note that whenever we sneeze, we should cover our nose properly with a hanky so that the unwanted particles which we expel during sneezing are not inhaled by other persons nearby us. Okay? The action of opening one's mouth wide while taking a long and deep breath of air is called yawning. A person yawns when he is tired, bored, stressed, overworked, feeling sleepy or drowsy. When we are tired, bored, stressed, overworked, feel sleepy or drowsy, we do not breathe as deeply as we normally do. Hence, our breathing rate slows down. Due to the slower breathing rate, less oxygen goes into our body, which is insufficient for respiration, that is, for the production of energy. Yawning helps in bringing more oxygen into our blood because during yawning, our mouth opens wide and we take a long and deep breath of air. The lungs are very delicate organs which are essential for breathing and keeping us alive. The biggest enemy of our lungs is the habit of smoking. Smoking tobacco in the form of bidi, cigarette or cigar damages our lungs gradually and causes ill health. Let us see the harmful effects of smoking. Smoking destroys the lung tissue gradually, due to which breathing becomes very difficult. Smoking causes lung cancer. Smoking causes heart diseases. It also damages the health of non smokers who inhale the air containing tobacco smoke, that is, passive smoking. Smoking kills. Many people die every year from diseases caused by smoking. The bad habit of smoking must be avoided to lead a healthy life. Okay, thank you.